This is a story about a group of Finnish lions. The story starts in Copenhagen, where Danish shipowner DFDS operates the King of Scandinavia ferry between Copenhagen and Oslo. The ferry's galley is in urgent need of conversion, and DFDS has decided that Loipart of Finland is the only company capable of doing the job to the required standard of quality and in the required time. So they picked up the phone and called. For DFDS, the time was critical. They could only give Loipart 29 days. Within this time, Loipart had to convert not just the main galley, but provision rooms, some pantries, and the whole tax-free area as well. But to do this, Loipart also had to relocate about 40 meters of fire bulkhead and install new windows in the galley together with a new cooling plant. Only 29 days was a tall order indeed. Not surprisingly, some of Loipart's own management group were a little sceptical. And of course, Loipart's competitors were quick to claim that Loipart were digging their own grave. But Loipart knew what they were doing. In September 1992, they began planning and design. Loipart's technical planning department prepared drawings for the insulation, wall and ceiling paneling and floor, the air conditioning and drainage systems, piping systems for water, steam and freon, and electricity. In mid-November, Loipart began fabrication of the galley modules at its factory in Eura. Loipart has patented its own system of prefabricated galley modules. Prefabrication greatly reduces the time necessary for installation on board, a key factor in this project. On the morning of the 6th of January, the Loipart team of 60 people arrived in Copenhagen along with 4 containers with tools and equipment. These were lifted onto the car deck of the ferry, which was then sailed to the nearby Landskrona yard in Sweden for scheduled dry docking. The 29-day countdown had started. The next day, Loipart began by removing the old tax-free shop, main galley, and provision rooms. It was surprising what sometimes turned up at this stage. On the 14th of January, after 8 hard working days and nights, Loipart was ready to start installation work. There were only 20 days left. Loipart's job was a full turnkey contract. They were responsible for all the metalwork, weldings, insulation, piping and electricity. Before the linings could be started, the installation work had to be approved by the authorities. Early in the morning of the 15th of January, the first large articulated truck full of galley modules was loaded up at Loipart's factory in Finland and set off for the Swedish yard. Altogether, 15 trucks were needed to transport all the necessary modules and materials. Day and night the crane was working, until the last module was inside the ship on the 23rd of January. Only 10 days left, and a lot of work still to be done. But you could see in their eyes that the team was committed to getting the job done, whatever it took, even though the tiredness was beginning to show. And then it was time for finishing. At midnight on the 3rd of February, Loipart handed over the completed project to the owner, 29 days from startup, exactly as promised. The owner was more than satisfied, as was the captain, who showed his appreciation for the hard-working Finnish Lions by serving champagne to the team and the crew. Normal work began on board the very next day. But not at Loipart. We took the day off. And why not? We'd done the job, as promised.